It is 7 o'clock, and we are starting here with our presentation on becoming a bulletproof trader. We want you to trade fearlessly, grow steadily, and risk rationally. Right now, you're living through the fifth once-in-a-lifetime event since the 21st century began. We've been through plagues, we've been through, or perhaps we're in the middle of a world war. We've gone through a couple of recession, depressions, bear markets, and this year was the worst bear market out of memory. That is, there's no investor alive today who remembers the last time that the market opened this badly at the beginning of the year. And for many people who thought they were great traders or market geniuses, it was a pretty stark bringing reality into focus here when you realize that what you thought was good risk control was really no risk at all, or no control at all. So what we want to bring you here is disciplined trading to support your ideal lifestyle. We want evidence-based rules for wealth creation and the end of guessing and worrying and all those emotional aspects that enter into trading that perhaps should not be there. If you can, say a few words in the chat box about what you're looking for tonight, what brought you here, what frustrates you the most about your trading right now. I'd be happy to hear it. And, hopefully you guys can actually hear me. So just let me know in the chat if that's the case. So, as I speak to traders and students and so forth, I find out that really there are about 6 things that really get to people. The first is, I'll call it noise and confusion. Only about 1 in 30 people can explain the method they use to trade to another person. And what that means is they don't understand it or they can't explain it to themselves. And if you can't explain your methods and so forth, then you really can't improve on them. It's a big problem. The next thing is anxiety and elation, the big emotions. And everyone wants to remove the emotions from trading. You really can't, because trading revolves around one of the most basic things in your life, which is money and the ability to survive and all of the emotional stuff around that. But you can create trading systems, and you can create systems in your own life by running this as a business, so that you're not going to be subject to the market and how it performs. A lot of people have a system which is not reliable, and they know this. One of the reasons people want to trade is because they'd like to replace the current income they have, or to augment their income. And what you're seeing perhaps is that your performance is not reliable enough for you to be able to count on taking out $1,500 a month, $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month, whatever it would take to support your lifestyle. So perhaps it is that you can't get reliable growth from your portfolio. The next thing is outright trading mistakes. As I talk to people, especially people who want to day trade and day trade futures, they spend a lot of time with their fingers clicking on the mouse, clicking on the buttons, and frankly making mistakes as far as position size, even buys and sells. And this is one of the reasons why algorithmic trading has become popular, because it's not subject to the same mistakes. And really, it's only been in the last 5 years or so, I'm going to say, that this has been available to people to the extent that it is. So you're really entering a new phase in market history where regular people with an internet connection and some smarts can hook themselves up to the right education, the right resources, the right information sources to actually do some algorithmic trading, and again, get rid of those outright trading mistakes. A lot of people talk about bad entries, bad exits. These are all issues of not understanding statistically what's happening in the market you're in. And once you figure out a way to characterize that, you'll have essentially a program that will let you know where you can enter and exit with a lot more safety. And probably the thing that destroys the most wealth the fastest is aimless changes. If you are engaged in the noise and the confusion and you don't really know what you're doing in the first place, and every time you have a little string of losses, you decide you're going to change your system, well, you will just wear away your wealth. Plenty of people do. It's a big problem, and it is something that we certainly address in this course. So before we go any farther, I'd like to tell you a little bit about me. My name is Guy Robert Porter, and I have been trading for a really long time. I went to university in St. Louis, actually became a chiropractor and an acupuncturist, and did a lot of clinical research. Because of an autoimmune disease, I had to get out of that field, but I was able to use my research knowledge, my knowledge of statistics, et cetera, to create a new career out of working with not only trading, but portfolio management and so forth. So it's really been quite an adventure for me. I would love to share it with you. I would like you to have the lifestyle that you're hoping for out of learning how to trade and learning what goes into creating the right trading systems and so forth. So as I mentioned, I've been trading a long time. I've seen a lot of stuff. If I get really excited in the presentation tonight and become a little loose with my language, I just want you to know that it's because I grew up in New Jersey. This is what all my neighbors looked like. And, you know, this is just how it was for me. So back to Lumi Wealth. After I took the algorithmic trading course, I talked to Robert and I said, listen, what could we do to really give people mastery over the market? What could we do so that once they were armed with an algorithm and even some artificial intelligence work and so forth, that would give them that extra boost? And we really put our minds to this. It took months to develop the course. So in my day job right now, I run two advisories. One is Livestream Family Advisory, where we give families the family office experience. And the other place is the Engineered Risk Advisory, where I actually do some work with statistical trading, options, etc. So what we did was we took the pathway that I had used for regular business owners, we overlaid what you guys can learn in the algorithmic trading course and perhaps other courses that you've taken, and created a three-phase step to take people from relative beginners to competent operators in the market. If you find a strategy or bot that really works, we're going to show you how to scale it, even include others in it, and create this entire thing as a business, not in the sense of another thing you have to do, but a business in the sense of taking it seriously and making trading not a hobby, not a golf game anymore, not something that is really cool when you brag about, but something that actually supports your family and has the infrastructure to keep supporting you and your family. So you might be wondering if this course is for you or not. And as we've gone through a couple of iterations of it, and I've spoken with people and so forth, what we've come to is this. We need people who are collaborative, committed, and coachable. And by collaborative, I mean this. Each of you will probably bring to the table certain talents and knowledge that others don't have, and we're asking you to share that. It takes commitment because you don't just pay a fee and get the knowledge. It's not something it's not a potion you can drink or some package we can just give to you. You really do need to take out 5 to 10 hours a week to be able to work on your trading. And if you are trading, you're probably doing a bunch of that even now. The next thing is we need you to have a vision for the future. Trading needs to be important to you. This is not a casual course where you learn a technique or two and hope that you can make a few $100 a day as if you were going to the casino. This is a course for people who have a vision for the future and who have time and attention. We promise to give you a community that's focused on getting clear results for you and being with you so that you can get what it is you want. Now, look, on the left side here, and I hope this is everybody's left, I hope it's not reversed, but on the left side here, these are just the milestones that everybody wants to go through in their journey to become wealthy enough to have financial peace and order, whatever that is for you. For some people, it's $1 million. For some people, it's $10 million. A lot of you guys are in your 40s, and retirement isn't something you should even think about, but being financially independent, having financial peace and order certainly is. And these are the stages that each of us goes through on our way to doing this. We struggle, we strive, and we finally build a scaffold. And I would say that this course is probably for people who are either in this area where you have a job, you don't have surprise bills, it's not a surprise that the property taxes due at the end of the year or something. You have that taken care of. You have a little savings. And you have the time and the attention to be able to move toward this endeavor. And what we hope is that after the course and the follow-up work that we do, to build you a scaffold that actually creates a workable system that supports you and your family. If you're someone who's already had some success at trading, if you have a business and so forth, then perhaps you're someone who needs a more in-depth and more personal project creation, and we can do that for you also. There are a lot of risks in trading. Is there anybody, and I know I don't have a really good record here of getting you guys to do anything in the chat, but can anybody mention what you think your biggest risk is in trading? What is the thing that could really cause a problem for you in your trading? Some people will say it's position size. Some people will say something about risk management, which in itself is vague. But let me tell you, your biggest issue is taxes. You're going to take all the risk. The government's going to gladly take 30, maybe even 50% of your money. And when you lose money, they're not going to give you any back. So what we're trying to do with this course is take a bunch of people just like us who are at a disadvantage and show a way that you can actually move up and out of this. So before we get all excited, I do want to share with you some bad news. What you want to do with beating the market, with having 200% returns, that kind of stuff, it's impossible. And there are a bunch of people in universities who are making their livelihoods by proving that what it is that we want to do is impossible. Now, similarly, on Wall Street, there are a bunch of people making 10 times that much money who are actually doing it. So those who say it's impossible should not interrupt the people who are actually doing it. On the other hand, very hard to do. Okay, very hard to be profitable. Actually, it's probably easy to make a lot of money and harder to keep it. That is generally the experience of beginning and intermediate traders. Now, look, 90% of futures accounts blow up in 90 days. If you've blown up an account, congratulations. I would say I've probably blown up 5 or 6. It just happens. You do some experiments, you take risks, you live and learn. And the trouble is that most traders will give up on the endeavor entirely after 4 or 5. And you know what? For probably 60% of the people, that is the best thing they could do, because some people just can't do this. What we're offering is a way to either do it yourself, have it done with you, or have people in the group actually do it for you. If you're not somebody who can really put this all together, there are people around you who can, and you can participate. So as I say, this is a collaborative endeavor. I do want to tell you that I'm going to talk about options. I'm going to talk about futures, stocks, options on futures, crypto, Forex, and all of these things are incredibly risky. Do not engage in any of them unless you speak to your own personal financial planner, or do so at your own risk. I say this because there are just so many lawyers in the world and so many people willing to use them. Look, you're all adults. You're all responsible for your own actions. And this course is taught with that in mind. So please accept the responsibility. Speaking of which, the average investor's lifetime return is a mere 4.9% a year over their lifetime. This according to the Dalbar study. And if you want to retire, live independently, etc., this is a really hard hurdle rate to be able to do that with. Now, most managers of big portfolios, managers of mutual funds, etc., they don't consistently beat their benchmark either. So it's not always possible to have a winning week, a winning month, a winning quarter, whatever. We will show you a way to use momentum in what they call an unbounded way, so that you have a better chance of beating the benchmark than most of these managers do. And it's with some really simple, fully disclosed stuff. So one of the problems you're facing is asymmetrical information. Now, I don't know if you've ever thought about this, but when you buy or sell something, somebody's taking the other side of that trade. Why are they doing that? I mean, everyone can see it's about to go up. You're buying. Why would some idiot sell something to you? So, folks, I hope that you think to yourself with virtually every trade, is it possible that I'm the idiot? And have I put in place enough measures to make sure that if in fact I am, I'm not blown out of the water by this next trade? And these things happen to us because of cognitive and behavioral biases. So here's the thing about a bias. Even if I tell you about it, it will be hard for you to see it in your own thinking. And that's why, as we go through the class, people present their ideas, they present their results and their trades, and the rest of us who are not involved in it, who are not looking at it so specifically, we're able to see what's in your blind spot. And some of the exercises we do will alert you to some of the stuff that you're not looking at. And if you're thinking at this point, oh no, I've got that covered, well, you don't, or you would be doing much better. Now, I'm not trying to blame you. I'm trying to kind of knock at your arrogance if that's there, because you're going to have to drop that in order to really win as a trader and to make this work for you. The last thing I want to mention is that as we get into the course, we're going to be teaching, I guess, what they call the secrets of the rich. It's really not secrets of the rich. It's just this. If you do not have more than $100,000 to put in a brokerage account, then you don't really need to know about portfolio margin. If you are not making more than $200,000 or $300,000 a year, there are some tax things you don't need to know about because they won't really affect you. These are what's called the secrets of the rich. Now, the thing is, most people find these secrets of the rich 5 years too late. And I work with a team of other advisors, CPAs, et cetera, to make sure that you guys are not going to be put in that position, that you know well in advance what kind of hurdles you're coming up against, and you can take steps before time. So almost done with the bad news. But I want to tell you something. The people who bought this, the people who do this kind of stuff for a living, the people who spend their days writing statistical and scientific stuff on chalkboards, These people have all realized that the market is a vast place where they can use their knowledge, and all of these people are willing and eager to trade with you. They have more capital and more information than you do, and you are here at the gate. More than likely, you're the one person in your family who's responsible for making this trading thing work. Everyone's depending on you. If you lose it all, if you make a mistake, it's on you. It's a lot of responsibility to have, on top of just how hard it is to actually make a living at trading. So here are some of the things that we start with in the course when we get down to the clarity part of it. And this deck, by the way, is available to you. Let me put the link in the chat box. There you go. Okay, so good. You'll be able to get all the slide deck. So these are questions you should answer for yourself. But sometimes the obstacle is the path, and sometimes you're actually the obstacle. So as we go through these cognitive biases, what you will find is that probably half of what you consider a trading mistake, maybe even more, will be directly attributable to one of these, and we'll talk about how to recognize them and how to cure them. So again, as we begin, 3 phases, right? Survive, monitor, manage, and leverage, make sure that it's working, and then scale it and succeed. So in our first steps, we want to make sure that we have enough safety in place to trade tomorrow. We want to find a method that works just a little bit, and we're going to get clear on it. We're going to know the market fundamentals. Maybe if you've been trading for 5, 6, 8 years, you have these all down. It's very possible that you don't. Even 1 or 2 of these algorithmic trading methods could save you a lot of money over the next year, 5 years, the rest of your life, etc. But here's the most important part of phase 1. We have to get your strategy down. Now, we'll be working on a couple of them, I'm going to say, like publicly, like sharing it among all of the people in our class. You'll be able to take a look at these strategies and add on to them. There's also the space for you to create your own. And there are a lot of ways to do it. You can do some trend-based stuff, or you can do mean reversion. Mean reversion are things like MACD, RSI, those kind of technical analysis things. This coming up class, we're going to be working on something with a little more information theory, signal and noise in it. I'm going to show you a little bit about that later. We also have a lot of people at Lumi Wealth who are doing things with sentiment. They're reading Twitter, they're reading Reddit and so forth with AI and finding out what people are talking about. There's a lot of good sense in using rebalancing and modern portfolio theory to make your ideas safer, to use that as an overlay. And of course, there's technical analysis. So in all, we've got 5 or 6 things which you can start with in order to create a trading system. You can bring your own, or you can use ours. But let's say that it works. Let's say that you find something that actually seems to have an edge, seems to be dependable. That is the beginning of our next step, because we're always ambitious, we're always thinking big, but you want to start small, scale, or fail. So once we implement the strategy, we work to improve it. And then if we're implementing it correctly, if we are really able to monitor and improve it, but only then, we can actually begin to bring leverage into the equation. And when you bring leverage into the equation, you know, you could start with a small account of $50,000 and find yourself making literally hundreds of thousands of dollars a year if you can get the participation of some other people. If you start with $50,000, it's really hard to get to $1 million. I know you can do it, and a lot of people hope that they can sit in their basement or sit out on the beach trading all day or something, as if that's any better. But really, if you want to do this, you need to be thinking in terms of scaling and collaborating with others. It is just the fastest, best way to do it. So in order to entice others, or in order to know yourself that what you're doing is the right thing, that it's going to last your whole life and so forth, there are a lot of calculations and so forth that you can make. And these are things that professionals use in order to make sure that what they're doing is actually working. So right now, I just want to solve a common problem that I'm sure every one of you have run into this if you traded at any time at all, and that is that you've used an indicator or two or three. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It worked for a run of market days. You felt like you were doing great for 2 months, and then bang, 2 weeks later, you are back to where you started or worse. So let's just take a little graph here of some market action. And I think everybody can agree that this is a downtrend, but you know, maybe not. Maybe people don't think that, but I imagine if you would, some downward motion. I'm going to draw that in for you. Here's your downtrend. Now, if you've traded for any length of time, watched videos, etc., in any given trading system, you'll see a bunch of those little arrows, right? Here's where we bought, here's where we sold, bought, sold, etc. And you can always tell the fake ones because they've invariably sold within 2 bars of the top, bought within 2 bars of the bottom, and like never made a mistake. So imagine though that you didn't do that, that you have a real trading system and you have a bunch of trades all through here. This is from January all the way to November. So in the course of a year, imagine, I don't know, 300 trades, 50 trades, whatever it would be for your system. And let's say that at the end of it, you know, you got a result. So the question is, were you lucky or were you smart? And would you like to know the difference? Wouldn't it be good to know if you were just lucky? Now, that's one of the hardest things for traders to even imagine, is that after all this hard work, thinking that any part of the money they made was due to anything except their own superior intellect. But the fact is, there's a bunch of luck in this. And here's why. We said before, I asked you to assume that this was a trend. The trend goes from about 465 here down to 375 here. These are the spiders, by the way, beginning of the year. So the signal, the information that counts in here is the fact that the market is dropping by 20%. Okay, but you couldn't tell at any particular point. If we do a mathematical operation called detrending, what we do is we take a look at the returns that happened every day, and then we just subtract what this signal is. So this was down approximately 20, and this is, let's just say it was over the course of 200 days, I'm just estimating for convenience. So that means that out of every day, we should add, because the signal was a negative, out of every day's return, we should add about 0.2. Is that right? 0.2 times 100 is 20. Okay, so when we detrend it, it looks like this. Here's your signal. And the market went up a bunch this day, but then it went down a bunch that day, and it did all of this stuff around the signal. So you can see all this volatility. So here's the thing. If you want to know if you're lucky or skilled, do this. Figure out what the signal is in your market data. Do a detrending plot like this, really not very hard to do, and count up all of the longs that you had, count up all of the shorts that you had, and what you might find is that you're maybe 70% short, 30% long. You are exactly mimicking a roulette wheel that is balanced 70-30. Then run your 70-30 roulette wheel across each of these days, right? You've got a 70% chance of being short here, 30% chance of being long here, etc. You run that through. This is a very simple Python program. And what you'll find is that, and this is often what you find, that you made 35% and the information in your system accounted for about 2.5 of that. So it's when you start to do a few of these, what you'll realize is that you rely on luck more than you think you do. But here's what's more important. Let's say that your system had a bias. When we take a look at your fully disclosed system, it's really easy to get long. It's very hard to get short. So what markets are you going to do better in? You're going to do better in up markets because it's easier for you to be long than short with your particular system. And then the challenge is simply to identify an up market and know when to release your little bot and also know when to stop it and start another one. As this happens, as you succeed, you'll start to make money and your worst risk will start to show itself. You will start to owe money in taxes. And if you're doing any kind of trading, you will start to owe money at the rate of 30%, and it's horrendous. So again, we're all doing this so that we can increase our net worth. And the way that we do it is to treat our trading as a business, to keep the correct records so that business becomes more of our net worth, so that we're able to do things with our tax system, so that we're able to keep more of our money, to keep it longer and have it protect our family, etc. So that's part of the process. Again, all depends on having a winning trading routine. But once you get that, you're not done. In order to help you do this, we have an app. This app is on your phone. It's called Elements. And what Elements does is it boils down your entire financial matrix into about 10 or 11 questions, 10 or 11, we'll say, parameters. Keeps track of these automatically, and it will let you know if you are on track to reach the goals that we've established and how quickly that'll happen. So it looks a little abstract, but really it's like this. Your savings, your investments for you guys, that's where your income's going to come from. You're going to be traders. So you're going to turn that account into income. And we want to make sure that we optimize the tax rate. Then we want to make sure that it's protected. And then we want to take a look at all of the wealth you have and make sure that this number, this total term number, is growing and will support you. So if you're somebody who's, I don't know, 40, maybe 50 years old, if your total term is 30 or 35, meaning that your assets amount to about 35 times your annual spending, then you're really close to independent. You're close to getting to the point where paychecks are optional for you. And that is the kind of work that we want to see happen. So you guys are just like business owners. Your business is that you're going to move stocks, futures, options, and crypto all around. You're going to trade it. And in that sense, you're really no different from a shoe salesman. Just faster and more leveraged. And here again is the plan. You've got to have the capital, make sure that it's working for you, put all of the protective stuff in place, and you will have your own little factory where you will develop, implement, and scale these algo bots. That's what our course is about. So if you take a look at the, the real specifics from Lumi Wealth. This is lumiwealth.com. And when you get there, the trading course is right here. We have a description of the course. Probably the most important part, at least for me, I'm a nerd, is the curriculum. It has our 3 phases right here. We're looking at what we're trying to do each time. And I will leave you to this to take a look at it on the page and, look it over for yourself. So you guys gave up, 40, 45 minutes of your time this evening. Timing is everything. We know that we're in a crisis right now. This could be the bottom of the market, or we could be looking at another 20% drop when some other horrible thing happens. Who knows? But this is the place. Imagine if you started trading correctly at the bottom of any market bottom. From bottoms to tops, the market itself can go 300-500%. Imagine if you could tack on a little more, if you could outperform that, you could leverage with crypto options or futures. You really may have it made, and this may be the time to actually make it. So as I say, Robert and I spent a lot of time putting this course together, and I want to give you an idea of what's in it. So the first thing is access to professional level algos. These are the very same ones that hedge funds use. Dark pools will show you how, if you want to, we'll show you how to get immediate access to dark pools to move large amounts of stocks. We have ways to scale in and out of positions, execute that famous grid strategy, which is really how market makers work. The value of knowing something like that, I put that at $24.50. Now I'm going to value a few of these other things, and I want to tell you that unlike most people who are teaching trading, I actually am a registered investment advisor. So I can't lie to you. It would mean having my license revoked. I'm not becoming your financial advisor or anything like that. I'm just saying that the requirements of the title require that I can't lie about investment stuff anywhere. So that's why there's no exaggeration here. It's why I'm not telling you that you're going to make 300% every year. When I tell you that something's worth the money, it's worth my time and the materials. And these are amounts that others have actually paid for these things. So our fully disclosed momentum system, this is easy to use. If you don't want to be trading all your wealth, this is something for maybe for your longer term wealth. It'll have you in the market at the right time and on the sidelines at the right time. It's going to be important for you to use options if you want to have income from your portfolio in a bear market. It's just the easiest way to do it. And what we work on is just wringing money out of the market with the appropriate option strategies. I talked to you about that, the cognitive biases. We're going to cover at least 15 of the most ingrained ones. But you'll be able to spot, confront, and neutralize these mistake-generating programs that run your mind. So you'll find that they've been responsible for more than half of the losses you've ever made in your life. And the value of that as an active trader has to be $10,000 a year. I'm really not going to count it. I'm just telling you that when you start to be able to take the blinders off and see the mistakes you're doing, it's just eye-opening. So we'll learn some forward projection techniques using option data, using the data in the market. There are thousands of people, millions of dollars, all trying to figure out what the next move of the market is. And this information is available right in the option data if you know how to read it. We're going to look at the mechanics of scale, how to take a successful system and double your return on investment in under a year, assuming you have a successful system. And if you're an advanced trader, if you're level 2 or 3 on that freedom framework, have a business or treating trading like a business, then you'll have access to the Elements app, the Livestream virtual family office experience, where we actually go through the necessary asset protection, trust and estate work, etc. All of this legal work has to be done in order for you to really be trading. So, and I mean trading in a sustainable way that you can count on. Consult on demand, 10 hours of direct conversation with me. I'm going to say it's about 40 touch points as you move through your project. My hourly rate is $295. And we've gone over how valid that is. So this 10 hours of contact with you, as well as the work that I have to do to support it, comes out to about $59.50. I've added these up for you, and of course, I did not add in the mental bias stuff. It's quite a total value. If you think about that value over the course of your investing life, it comes out to almost nothing. If you can do this for yourself, then you can, what you save in fees in the first 2 years will more than pay for this course, even if you hardly learned anything from it. But that's not what we're trying for. So I think the course is expensive and it needs a guarantee. So here is the guarantee. There we are. Okay. I don't want to disappoint anyone. If you are in this course for 3 or 4 weeks and you don't think that you're getting any traction with it, then let's just have a talk. As long as you've done all the work that had to be done and, studied the lessons, etc. If you have earnestly put the effort in, then I'm happy to refund all your money because, like I say, I don't want to disappoint anyone. By the same token, I'm at a stage in my life where a lot of work really is optional. So if I don't think that the course is working for you and I together, I'll let you know sooner and also give you a refund. So I want to make taking the course riskless, because you have so much other risk to take in trading that, this should really be the least of it. I don't want to add to the stress. So back to our slides here, I hope. Good. That's our guarantee. Is it worth the money? I will tell you that I don't see how it couldn't be. If you take this to heart, if you can make sure that you're not getting yourself overtaxed and that you don't make any big mistakes, you've probably lost enough money already to have paid for this course, if only you knew. Okay, I would love it if your wife, partner, spouse, etc., wanted to join in and learn with us. It is something that I love to share. It's just part of who I am. I like to share good things. When I was growing up, there wasn't anybody to teach me how to do these things, how to take the quickest pathway to the most money, how to make things easier. And I want to do that for you guys. I want to be for you what it was that I wanted when I was your age. So I'm also not teaching a technique that is going to become overcrowded. There's no reason that I should limit the amount of people who can do this, because there's definitely room for everyone. So the best way to put this to use is to start now. And I'm not sure what's stopping you. Feel free to ask me any questions in the chat. If there's something that's getting in your way, if there's a hesitancy that you have, I certainly want to help you with it. And look, you guys have given me your time and attention willingly. I am willing to give you the same amount of time and attention. That is my Calendly link. If you're a trader, if you're somebody who wants to make money in the market, if you're if you're struggling with something, even one part of it, feel free to use this link. Get yourself a 45-minute or a 60-minute conversation with me, and let's talk about what's in your way, and just let me see how I can help. I'm not trying to sell you this course or really sell you anything. Again, it is my gift to you because you were kind enough to pay attention to me for this long. So I'm going to hang out for a couple more minutes to see if there are any questions in the chat box. If there are, feel free to just type them in there. Yeah, and I probably have not mentioned that we're also looking for people to work with the hedge fund that we're setting up with a couple of past students and so forth. There's nothing really concrete about it, but I do kind of look at this course as tryouts, if you will, for people who want to become part of that operation. So if that's something you've ever thought of, happy to talk to you about that. So listen, I'm always happy to share things. I love to talk about trading. You can find me in the Tuesday night discussion group if you show up in the first 5 or 10 minutes. And otherwise, I hope to see you here, there, and hope to hear from you. You guys take care. If I don't talk to you before then, have a great Christmas holiday and a very happy New Year. Okay? Great. Take care.